My name is Emma, and I'm 38. I've been married to Daniel for 15 years. People often say we have a simple, quiet life. But life is never really simple, is it? It's full of moments you don't notice, sacrifices you take for granted, and love that hides in silence. When I first met Daniel, I thought he was ordinary. He wasn't flashy or charming in the way that drew attention. He didn't write me letters or buy me flowers, didn't talk much, and always seemed absorbed in something I couldn't see. I wanted romance, grand gestures, candlelit dinners, whispered "I love you." Daniel offered none of it. I complained. Often. Why can't you do more? Why don't you notice me? I remember snapping at him over dinner one night. He looked at me quietly, his hands holding his fork a little tighter, and said softly, "I'll try, Emma." That was it. And I didn't realize then that his version of love was quiet, hidden in things I couldn't see. In those early years of marriage, I would wake to find him already gone to work before the sun had risen, catching a bus across town. I never knew he skipped breakfast so our kids could eat first. I didn't notice the holes in his shirts, the worn soles of his shoes, the stress in his shoulders. I only saw a man who was distant, quiet, and unromantic. I thought he didn't care enough. We argued often. I would yell about the little things, his silence, his lack of attention, the way he never planned anything special for us. He never yelled back. He just nodded, sometimes with a faint, tired smile. I thought that smile meant indifference. I was wrong. It was patience. It was love. I never noticed how he stayed up late at night to pay the bills when I was asleep. I didn't see the way he fixed the leaky sink himself instead of calling a plumber because he wanted to save money. I didn't notice the way he gently roused our children for school, carrying their forgotten lunches or tying their shoelaces without a word. I thought our life was dull. I didn't see that it was built on his sacrifices. Then came the night that changed everything. A storm had rolled in, heavy rain lashing against the windows. Daniel came home late, drenched, coughing. I snapped at him, irritated. Why didn't you call? You could have gotten sick. He only smiled faintly and shrugged. I stayed a little late, he said quietly. I didn't ask why. I didn't see that he had stayed to earn a little extra for our daughter's school fees, even though his own body ached from exhaustion. I went to bed angry, thinking he was careless. A week later, Daniel collapsed at work. I rushed to the hospital, my chest tight with fear. The doctors said his body was failing from years of relentless work and stress. Sitting beside him, I finally saw him, the worn hands, the deep lines on his face, the quiet strength that had carried our family through every storm. I held his hand and whispered, "I'm sorry, Daniel. I never saw you. I didn't see all you did for us." He opened his eyes slowly, weak but smiling faintly. "It's okay, Emma. You and the kids, you were always worth it." In the following days, I began to notice everything I had missed. The way he hummed softly while making breakfast, careful not to wake the children. The way he fixed my favorite jacket without telling me, though he was exhausted. The way he always remembered what our kids liked for lunch, even if he hadn't eaten himself. Every small act was love, and I had been blind. I began leaving him little notes. "Thank you for everything. I love you." I tried to really listen when he talked, even about small boring things at work. And slowly, I saw him relax just a little, because for the first time, I was noticing him. One evening, I found him sitting quietly on the porch, watching the sunset. I sat beside him and rested my head on his shoulder. I see you now, I whispered. He smiled, that familiar gentle smile I had once dismissed as indifference. I always hoped you would, he said. We danced in the kitchen that night to a song from our wedding day. I laughed softly as he spun me clumsily, still steady, still patient. I realized then that love doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need grand gestures. Real love is quiet. It's in the early mornings, the late nights, the small sacrifices no one sees. I had spent so many years thinking I didn't have the husband I wanted. Now I understand I had the husband I needed. And though it took too long to see it, I see him now, every day, and I never take him for granted again. Sometimes I catch myself watching him, thinking about all the years I didn't notice him, all the years I complained about the wrong things. But then I take his hand, and I smile. He squeezes it back. No words are needed. We've learned to speak love in silence. Daniel is my quiet hero, the man who carried our family without complaint. And now, finally, I see him.